Welcome to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod, where I am your favorite host, as well as your favorite hoochie, legs out, not open, Bree. And if this is your first time listening, then welcome. Today we are diving into the complexities of dating in our 30s. I don't really like the way my producer looked at me when I said that, but I'm gonna keep it going. Juggling work and life and all the fun and sometimes chaotic experiences that come with it. We'll also touch on the unique experiences of being a school counselor. Yeah, girl, we got you. And what it's like to pledge a sorority.
Oh, wow.
You see, because I ain't never did it, but I wanted to, okay? So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get started. So today we have a special guest. Special guest, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Blair, and as she said, I'm a school counselor. I'm
Not
also
the work
part of a
voice.
sorority. I just got off work, so I got to code switch in a little bit. It'll start to come through once the drink starts to settle in. Yeah, but I'm in professional mode. I've been at it since 7 o'clock this morning. So
Can't imagine.
I don't want you to.
I can't imagine. Okay. Were we introducing your ratchet side or no?
I think she'll show up eventually. I think she's asleep. She's dormant right now.
Okay.
Forgive her.
Okay. That's fine. But to kick things off, let's talk about dating in our 30s. So it can feel like a whole new ball game. Right? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like when my parents got together, it was not this hard.
It couldn't have been this hard.
I just feel like it was not this hard. I feel like it was not this ghetto and
unhinged and all the things. All the things.
Crazy.
It's like settle or you stay single, I guess. That seems like the only option at this point.
Those are our only options.
I hate that for us.
Those are our only options. But let me ask you, what are some of the biggest differences you've noticed between dating in your 20s and dating in your 30s?
Well, the crazy thing is, I really didn't date in my 20s. I was a relationship girly. So, like, there was really no dating phase. It was like talk for a few weeks, and then I like you, you like me. Let's lock it in. And I think what happens is in our 20s, I think also to the partners I was with, they didn't know how to date. Like, looking at their families and their dynamics, their parents didn't date. Like, his father was not taking the mom out on a date. And so they didn't see that. And so I didn't get that behavior. And I think, too, in my 20s, when I was dating, I was always shrinking myself to fit into a mold that I thought my partner wanted me to be. And now I'm in this space now where I'm trying to take up space and just be my authentic self and, like, you love me or leave me.
Yeah, love me or leave me. I feel that. Because dating is ghetto. I don't like it.
And it's really hard dating now to not get caught up in a situationship. Like, you literally got to be 10 toes down. And I can tell you now I'm like 9 out of 10 toes down.
If I'm being honest with myself, I'm probably just dipping my toe in the water.
I feel it.
Yeah, I'm just dipping. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I would like to be here for a good time, but with somebody for the same person for a long time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. You want to be here for a good time and a long time, and I get that. I just ain't found that. So
right,
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Right? No, I get that. Let's have fun, and that's another thing. Like, just I learned in therapy, just live in the moment, like be present. So if it is just what it is, you accept it for what it is, but you don't attach yourself to it.
Yeah.
And so you can accept it and not be jaded. That's another thing. I'm a love girl, so I get jaded really easily. And the man's actions could be telling me he don't want me, and in my delusion, you want me real bad.
Because why would you not? Have you not seen me?
And so I was making up scenarios and things in my head that weren't really real. Like, and not saying like I was like that delusional, but I think it's not even making up scenarios. It was me excusing the behavior. So it was like, oh, he didn't call me today. Oh, well, he was probably busy. Yeah. Not, like instead of holding him accountable, I'm making an excuse for him, not even giving him the opportunity to explain himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's definitely something to work on.
Just like being too understanding.
Too understanding.
I notice that's my problem too.
I can't wait. I want to light somebody up. Like the next one, I can't wait to be like, I'm gonna crash out if you don't tell me why you didn't call me yesterday. I need an answer right now. Like that's where I want to get to the point, like so they know like not to play about me because I don't play about myself.
Yeah. See, and I just be like, you know what? I'd rather just leave you alone because you obviously this ain't even what you want. This ain't really what you want. So let's just play. I can play it the same way you playing. This ain't really what you want.
But then I think when we don't hold people accountable, that's when they come back and act like nothing happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I'm guilty of that. Like, I don't say anything. I don't hold them accountable. So then they're gone for a few days and they come back like, oh, what's up, babe? And it's like, hey. And then it's like, I kind of go with the flow because I've already excused the behavior a few days ago when I should be like, no, it ain't no what's up. It's why you ain't call.
Yeah.
Why you didn't follow through and say what you said you were going to do.
How do you feel like your priorities have changed as you've gotten older?
I make myself more of a priority. For sure, which I think ties back into the whole dating thing. Like you learn to prioritize yourself. I'm important. Like what I want, my wants and needs are important, and it's okay to make that the top of my list. Like they call it learning how to be selfish, but it's not being selfish. It's literally just making sure your cup is full. So then when you need to pour into others, you have it instead of trying to continuously pour into others and you like ain't got nothing to give. So I think my priorities change in that space, like really genuinely. And now I can't say I'm perfect at it all the time, but I definitely am more intentional about like, nope, I don't want to do that. Like if it's something I don't want to do, or if it's hanging out with somebody I don't really want to hang out with, or whatever the case may be, I try to always make sure I kind of check in with myself and make sure that I'm prioritizing what I want and my needs.
Yeah, that's important. I feel like you as a person should come first.
Yeah.
I feel like, and that's partially the reason why it ain't got nothing to do with dating. Partially the reason why I don't have kids because I've come to realize that I'm in a very selfish state, and I don't want nobody else relying on me. Right. I don't want to be your source of responsibility. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
24/7 till the day I die.
Then also like talking about motherhood, like you look at the moms on TikTok, like there was this one lady where she talks about like what it's like to be a stay-at-home mom, and she's like from 7 a.m. to 7:30 I cry alone in the dark. Like I'm glad you are in touch with your emotions and you give yourself that space, but if that's a daily scheduled thing, that's a lot. But she didn't look too happy in the video.
They be looking stressed.
But also stop recording yourself while you crying.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Like, why is that a thing? Like, I'm crying. Let me
get a camera and set it up.
Let me, like, I think the crazy thing I've done is I was like crying over a guy and I went and looked myself in the mirror to see how I look.
Oh, you be looking so ugly. I be like, I see all my tears don't phase you, boo.
About that was like, oh, well, while I'm in this nasty, ugly crying state, let me go ahead and record myself. That's wild to me.
So, I don't even comment on people's stuff who cry.
So, defund crying on camera. Yeah.
If you're talking and then you just so happen to start crying, that's different.
I get it.
The emotion got brought out of you, but to really set up and record and be like
we can see it in your face, like you real red, and you can tell you've been crying for a minute.
Wait.
That means you probably been crying for like maybe a minute or two, and you
wait
like,
it out.
Wait, this is some content. Like that's an interesting mindset for me. I don't want to say it's weird, but it's interesting. It's weird. Different. Okay,
it's weird.
Hey, it's weird.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting to date again after a long relationship?
I would say my advice would be know your expectations, know what you want, and like want that. Like if that makes sense, like go after it. Don't settle for like they may be 8 out of 10, but if you want that 10 out of 10, get the 10 out of 10. Like don't settle. Essentially, I think that's a common thing that we tend to do when we learn to do growing up is like, oh, well, he's got a job, even though your standard is like, I want somebody with a degree. And you're like, well, okay, he has a job. Okay, cool. But it's like, that's not what you want, so you're not being true to yourself. So I would say like, especially when you come out of a long relationship, I'm pretty sure you dealt with enough. Like myself, I came out of a long relationship and there was a lot of things I didn't receive that I desired and I wanted. And so you have to like, I wrote it down. So then I could keep myself accountable. But you have to know what you want and not let it waver, because that's when you end up in those situations where you're unfulfilled and unsatisfied. I think would probably be the best advice I could give.
I wrote mine down. Mm-hmm. I ain't stuck to it once.
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't stuck to it completely either, because if that was the case, I probably would be locked in somewhere or not in situationships. So.
Yeah, I realized I did a what I want for Christmas type list, and I wrote down everything I wanted in the man. And baby, when I say I ain't looked at that list since the day I created it.
Oh, see, I go back and update. I haven't updated it in some time.
I forgot I even created it.
It's in my notes. Let me see the last time I updated it. You know, the notes be telling you. There we go. Yeah, it was actually Kwanzaa of last year.
Okay,
Kwanzaa, per.
What day in Kwanzaa though?
The first day. On the actual day of Kwanzaa. Yeah,
I don't know the days.
So Kwanzaa starts on the 26th.
No, I got that part. I mean, I don't know the name of the days.
Like I don't know like that. I just know it's like Umoja, Ujima.
I just know Imani because
Imani. Yeah, I was gonna say Imani.
Shout out to my daddy. That's why I know Imani.
I just know to tell everybody for the next 7 days. Habari Gani, what's the news? That's all I know. And then you just tell me what it is. That's the only one we clearly know.
Yeah,
and that's Imani, right? Anyway.
No, Imani is Faith.
Faith. See, child. Now I'm gonna have to look it up, but I'll wait.
Have you found any unconventional ways to meet potential partners? How's that going for you?
No. I think my issue is I gotta go outside.
Ooh, that is the problem.
And it's like, I don't like going outside like that. Like I do, but I'm usually like with my friends. I'm not really in the headspace to try and talk to somebody, but I gotta get in that space. I haven't tried it yet, but it was suggested like to go to a nice restaurant, like take yourself out on a date and then like, but look nice, go sit at a bar.
Yeah, one of my friends told me that.
And they said oftentimes you may get somebody who talks to you. They said usually you may not even get anybody who talks to you, but if somebody sees you at the bar alone, they'll pay for your meal. I like free.
And I do too.
So I'm willing to try it. I just haven't had the energy to like go home. Because one, I work in LA, but I live in Long Beach. So like most of the nightlife during the week is in LA.
Oh, I hate LA.
And so, I work in South LA, so I'm not that deep in the trenches, thank God. But yeah, I heard that one really works. A lot of people said they've gotten at least like a date with somebody and maybe it wasn't anything.
That didn't lead to anything?
Yeah, it didn't lead, but at least it was something fun and out of the norm. But yeah, that's all I've got so far. I also, being an educator, I was told to go to like, there's a superintendent's conference that goes on. And so, you know, if you're a superintendent or like a professor, director, whatever.
They got money. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like Abbott Elementary, that the episode where Janine and them went to that conference. Yeah.
I think that was a superintendent, one of the guys that he was interested in her. And she was like, no, because she realized she had a thing for
Gregory? Mm-hmm. Is it? No.
But I don't know. I can't remember. I need to catch up on Abby, but I know there is
It is a previous season, yeah.
But yeah, so they were telling me that I have a mentor. She's also a school counselor turned like school counselor mentor now, and she's also a professor. But she was like, yeah, girl, we're going down to San Diego. And I'm like, ma'am, you are married. She said, that don't matter. She said, you want your man?
Okay.
She said, you want your man that you know got money? She was like, come meet me in San Diego on a Wednesday during the school week, girl.
And I would have went there.
I should have. I really should have. I should have hopped on the train.
Because that man could possibly retire me.
Mm-hmm. Not even possibly. Most of these people, like, one of them that was down there was actually the, he is, like, our dean of the school at USC.
Yeah, retire me.
Like, the dean of the College of Education at USC. So, he's making coin.
Yeah, you're already sustaining your lifestyle. You don't really need me to come in and contribute to this. Retire me.
Right. Like, let me just, like, we can just fantasize about us opening a school together, but we're not really going to do it because I don't want to do it. Yeah. But we can just pretend, and then I just get knocked up and have a couple of your kids, and I live the soft life, but with a soft wig.
And that is probably the only reason why I would want kids, is if I'm having a soft life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you got money and you want to, you know, one of us, we both are ready, single, available. Are you ready though?
I'm ready.
Okay, ready. I don't want to speak on your behalf.
If you coming in and you taking care of my bills, I'm ready for you, baby. I am submissive.
I'm gonna clarify though. I'm not saying you got to take care of my bills right at the beginning, because people be like, women are just nothing but gold diggers and users. No, I'm not saying like that. Like, I'm very, what's the word I'm looking for?
They say you marry your daddy, and if I'm marrying my daddy, baby, you're taking care of the bills. So call me a gold digger all you want, but I was raised differently. I can't speak on how y'all was raised, but I was raised with a man taking care of the home, and that's all that matters.
You saying that, and I'm like, ooh, that means I'll never be married.
I mean, my daddy was not there.
So that doesn't work for me.
I just said, if y'all want to call me a gold digger, then you blame my daddy.
Listen, but I appreciate
because I was raised
that,
properly.
But just come take care of me, boo.
Yes.
Listen, but I submit to the right person.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, nah.
Yeah, I did say if they was paying the bills.
No, you're right. I'm just making sure I clarify for me. You only speaking for you.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for you, so I have to speak for me. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna go for the one in the black shirt, the black usher shirt, because she didn't say there was stipulations and expectations. You know, I have to make sure it's very clear. There's that on that.
Well, roster's back open, so we'll figure that one out for you.
Hold on, it's been open.
We'll figure that one out for you. I feel like we're gonna have a love match on this show one day. So
I'm
you
funny.
could be, you know,
I'm cute. I got my own coin.
Sell yourself, okay? Sell yourself.
I got 2 degrees. Like I bring I talk
her
like,
own place.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears for a little bit and talk about juggling work and life. It's a challenge many of us face, especially when dating is involved. So, how do you balance your professional responsibilities with your personal life and relationships?
Ooh. I usually am really good now. Like, since I hit my 30s, it's about keeping my calendar up to date. Like, literally, like, if it's not on the calendar, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. Like, literally, like, that's literally the only way I can really keep balance. And also just being flexible, because there's some things, like, for work that pop up at the last minute. And so I have to, like, make a quick decision, especially, like, this week. This week was crazy. It seemed like every time I turned around, it was like, oh, a meeting just popped up on my calendar. And I was like, okay, let me pivot. But, yeah, just honestly keeping my life organized and just really keeping things on the calendar, constantly checking in with folks. But also on the flip side, also giving me the space to, like, unwind and decompress and stuff like that, because that's really important. You don't do that. I used to run on fumes. I actually got in a car accident because of that. I was just on go the entire time and was so sleep deprived. And the rear in the back of somebody's car. Because just for a moment, I just lost focus because I was so tired. And that was kind of like my beginning of my realization, like, I needed to, like, really start making time for myself and prioritizing my rest. That was the realization. The action of it didn't happen until a few years later, because I was like maybe 24 when that 23, 24, somewhere in there. And yeah, but I didn't start realizing it until maybe like 27, 28, how to do it. And that's like, one, keeping yourself organized and just being okay with saying no to certain things. Like, you don't have to go to everything. You don't have to be at everything. And your friends will still love you and understand if they for real your friends and they already know all the things that you got going on in your life.
Yeah, that's important. Because you remember, like, back in the day, they used to have push the narrative that, like, you can sleep when you die.
Yeah, I hated hustle culture.
And that oh my goodness.
Especially when sleeping is one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah. And that plays another part why I don't have kids, because now if I'm stressed out, I can go lay down and take a nap. Mm-hmm. And when I wake up, it may not be figured out, but I feel better. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about, is my house destroyed because I took a little 4-hour nap.
Right. And now the kid's been unmonitored for 4 hours.
Yeah, and now I got permanent marker on my walls and shit on the window and you know, like, somebody can say diaper off.
That's real specific.
I know. I never seen it happen, but I just feel like
I was like, you got something you want to share? I just babysitting one time.
What strategies have you found effective in managing stress while dating?
Strategies. Let's see. I feel like
I go to the gym.
I was gonna say working out.
Yeah, I go to the gym. I go to fight.
If I don't work out, like, because honestly, like, working out literally, it clears my mind. If I'm annoyed, I go work out. If I'm stressed out, I'll go work out. Like, it's almost like it helps just like clear my mind. I guess all the good hormones that, start to go through your body and all those. I mean, I'm not a super big fan of working out. Like, if I do, I like prefer like do dancing, like something that
it gotta be activity.
Yeah, it's gotta be fun. It's gotta be something that distracts me. So it's like, I know I'm working out, but it doesn't feel like it.
That, yeah.
So, I mean, I actually started recently becoming like, I like running, which is so weird. Yeah. It's not normal. Like, I'm not like like I'm not trying to run for speed or anything, but I don't mind like running and like the feeling I get. Like, once I get past that first mile,
that runner's high. I never experienced that, but I hear about it all the time.
Once I get that like past that first mile and I'm finally in this zone or whatever.
I've never been in the zone. Never been in the zone.
So I feel too, what helps stress out for me in relationships and in these just like romantic, platonic, whatever you want to call them, is just expressing myself. I tend to like kind of hold in what I used to have it. Well, I still do sometimes. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I say how I feel all the time. No, sometimes like when I feel a way, I have to tell you, because if not, then that festers for a little bit and that adds to the stress, So I think also having an open line of communication and that's even my friends don't know. Like one time my friend yelled at me because we were on the phone and she's like, huh? So I repeated myself. She's like, huh? So I got louder. She said, huh, a third time while I'm still answering her. So I yelled. She's like, why are you yelling? And I was like, so I just got quiet and I said, excuse me. She was like, huh? I was like, I got a question. She was like, what's your question? I said, why did you fuss at me about raising my voice at you when you kept saying, huh? And I was telling you, I'm responding to your huns. And I had to get that off my chest in that moment, because if not, I was going to be annoyed with her probably for the rest of the night, because we was about to see each other. So it's like, I'm trying to get to you and you making it hard, and I get it, connection suck and all those other things. But you're literally saying, huh? Yeah, and then you mad at me because I'm raising my voice like you didn't say huh 3 times. That's crazy. So let me get this off my chest before it festers and then it causes anxiety and all those other things all just negative feelings. So yeah, honestly, just speaking up, asking questions when I want them asked. That might be one of my situations, I guess. He told me that's annoying that I ask questions. But I was like, I just be needing to know, because men sometimes aren't always clear. Like, it's clear to them, but it's not clear to me. And so if it's not clear to me, I need to have a full understanding. So in his mind, he said what he said. And to me, it sounded like a parable from Jesus. Yeah. And I got to decipher it. So while I got you here,
to go on the parables from Jesus and how confusing them things is.
I'm like, how about I just ask the source right here? And he's like, yeah, I hate when you do that. See, and I'm like, but I'm trying to make sure I understand you, because if I don't, then that's a problem too, right?
See, for me, that'd be the last time I did that to you. Because if I'm trying to communicate and you tell me that you hate when I do this, baby, you ain't got to worry about me doing it no more.
Well, no, it wasn't. And thankfully, it wasn't like in the moment of it happening. We were just talking candidly, like we were on the phone. And I think you saw a meme about like, it was like certain things women do. And I was like, do I do that? And he was like, no. But he's like, what you do that is annoying is like, I'll say something and then you got to question. Like, and it's not like I'm questioning him, but like I'm asking to clarify. The thing is, I'm asking him to clarify. And he's like I'll say like, what do you mean by that? Because I do. What do you mean by that? He's like, exactly what I said. I said, but clearly, I'm not understanding what you mean. So I want you to further, dive into what you're trying to say so I can better understand you. And so it was what it was kind of. It wasn't like I said it and he was like, that annoys me about you. It was like we were just talking and it was like, it was funny. I was like, seriously? Like, really? That's really. But hey, it could be worse. I could really get on his nerves in other ways. And it's just me asking him questions. So I'll take it. It's a dub. Yeah. I guess.
Have you ever felt like your job affected your dating life? How so?
Yes. I get so I'm a counselor. Well, I'm a school counselor, but
of what grade?
I'm a high school counselor.
That's what I thought.
I worked with middle school at first. Like that was my first real counselor job after grad school. But I just recently started working at high school. 100 times better. Absolutely 100 times better than middle school. I thought I loved middle school, but I don't. Like just basically plainly stated. But I tend to counsel. Like you'll come to me with a problem and maybe you just want me to hear you. Yeah. But instead now I'm trying to help you navigate how to get through this problem. And they like, girl,
I just wanted to vent.
I just want you to hear me. And even listening is a part of counseling, but I'm also a problem solver. Yeah. Like that's just something I guess that was embedded in me as a child. Like I'm always a problem solver, but it always turns into like a counseling session. I actually was dating a guy and he was like, I don't want a counselor. I want my girlfriend. And I was like, oh, my bad. My bad.
That'd be the last time you had your counseling ass girlfriend with me. Okay, because I really hate to just have my feelings hurt.
And I mean, it didn't hurt my feelings. And I'm just like, well, I would like a counselor too. But I can see where it can get annoying though. I can see
I don't know,
like everything is being analyzed. Everything is being strategized. You can avoid this by doing this. Like, no.
That would get annoying. But I'm as a girl who dates or date someone, whatever the case may be, I get very sensitive in these situationships, relationship type things. Like it you know what? It is kind of hard though, dating or attempting to date as like a podcast host and a hoochie, because people really feel like every world is going to be on this podcast. And baby, I might like you, but I don't like you that much.
Like, I'm not obsessed. I got other parts of my life that I can discuss. I can see that though. I can see how they would make that assumption.
Like, and I don't even give real names, sir.
And also, let's remember, like, podcasts are like in some ways likened to like social media. I'll let you see what I want you to see. Right. I'll let you hear what I want you to hear. I'll share the details, but you won't get the full story. But I think people, because they know that you're talking about them, they still get embarrassed. And it's like, no.
So are you not gonna be embarrassed when this money start rolling in? Huh?
Hello.
You're gonna be like, talk about me some more. Make it content.
Yeah. Oh, let me pop up on the show.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're gonna want to make a feature.
And baby, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. They want to be the co-host.
Yeah. You know?
Or they tell you things to say on the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, tell them about that. No.
Don't forget to tell them about date night. Don't forget to let them know about. Don't forget to let them know how I did that thing with that thing.
You did that thing when I did that thing.
And you did that.
And then remember when I made you that food and I took it up to your job? Don't forget to tell them that. Okay? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, sir, you're not that important.
I mean, they are a little bit, like, because if I'm with you, that means you pretty important, but not important enough to like air out everything. Yeah,
this one guy told me he wanted to be my top priority, and I said, "Baby, ain't nothing bigger than the podcast." So
you better be good, because because probably if anything, it should be you then podcast. Then
David Ruffin around here, baby. Hello? Ain't nobody.
My name is Bree, and these are the Temptations.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. He said, I like to be a top priority. I said, that is so cute. But nothing is more important than this podcast. So understand you will come second to this at any given point.
Maybe third. Don't play with it.
Yeah. You can never control the content.
Never.
So
they can't control you. Like, yeah. I think once men realize that they can't control us because we are our own human beings with our own brains, thoughts, and opinions, or just not even men, but just our partners, period. Because this happens. They said, I don't know. The word on the street is in the other streets, they be having the same issues as the straights. So
I don't know about those other streets yet.
I don't know about them either, but and if you do decide to, that's more power to you. That's literally the beauty in being a counselor. You hear the most outrageous, outlandish things. So like nothing comes to you as a surprise. Like people tell me things and they're like, you're not no.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so yeah, I just do your thing. If that is something that you so desire.
Nah, it's not, because I've been traumatized before I would ever think about doing it.
But also, sexuality is a spectrum. So that's why like there's some people who are bi, and I can't really speak on it. I don't want to like speak for a community, but I know that people, they say like they're bi and they're more romantically attracted to women, but more sexually attracted to men. Like there's different variations of what they like and things like that. So like it's a lot of different things. So if it makes you happy, I'm happy for you. If you want to share with me, you want to educate with me, thank you. If not, I'm gonna let you rock. Like, cause who am I to sit there and expect an explanation about who you are, what you do, and who you do?
That's why a lot of people do whatever they want to do. If it don't affect me, then it don't affect me. Everything outside of me is outside of
coin.
Me. Yeah. I don't want to say I'm self-absorbed, but I am very much like, I'm told I'm self-absorbed. But I am very much, if it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, that was like, like back in like, what was that? Like, it was like, it started in like 04, 05 when the whole like propositions for like same-sex marriage was out and people was just on one. Like I remember being in like middle school and it was like, y'all was really bugging out over who other people love. Like, why
Yes,
does
yeah.
who they love affect you so bad? Like, so you missing out on coin, money, bread, because you feel some type of way about something that really doesn't affect you. In any scenario, like even like working with high schoolers, and something somebody else is going through, all of a sudden now they gotta attach themselves to it, and it's like, oh, I got beef with you now. It's like,
no,
girl, what?
No, I don't.
That don't make no sense to me.
I don't. I'm sorry that you have beef, but
right.
no.
But I'm gonna not make y'all figure that out.
Unless the beef affect me, then no.
Right. But it's like, I've never, that mean girl stuff in school was always interesting to me. One person don't like you, so the whole group don't like you.
Now, will I have your back? 100%.
Yeah.
But am I going to be heavily involved in your beef?
No.
Probably not.
No. You can give me the tea on it, and I'm, like, dang, that's stupid. Like, what'd you tell him? But like,
I might give you something to say back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But to be heavily involved in your beef, I'm not doing that at this age.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely not. That's why I said teenagers. But there are some adults who they seem to be developmentally stuck in their teen years, and they like 30, 40, and I hate that for them.
I do too.
Because, there's more to life than being catty with other people and hollering and stuff. But that all ties back to trauma and being connected, or like, being connected, but also being used to dysfunction. And because you're used to it, even though it hurts, you stay in it because you know what to expect. Whereas there's a world where you don't expect certain things. Well, you don't know what to expect. It's new to you. And so you avoid it because you always think about like the what if it goes right? I mean, what if it goes wrong instead of what if it goes right? Yeah. So because we're used to everything going wrong. That's unfortunate. A lot of the cards dealt in a lot of people's lives is their lives are not always the greatest. So yeah.
Unfortunately.
So, y'all check your trauma and do what you need to do to get through it. Because it's possible, and if you want a better life, and this is me speaking from experience, but also as a person who does the work, like as and being in the mental health field, like identify it. And if you can't quite identify it, go with somebody who can help you identify it. So a therapist, counselor, somebody, religious leader if they're qualified, because you actually can be a religious leader and have a degree in counseling. So if they know how to do that. I'm saying I didn't know if he was what? So like, but get to the bottom of it. A lot of people are walking around here and they're angry and they don't even know that they're angry. They just feel miserable. So there's a lot of things that we kind of just deal with on a day-to-day. So I would say get it, look into it, get it checked out, because you never know, and do it as early as possible.
Yeah.
That's important. As possible.
So, speaking of your school counselor, you get to witness many facets of young lives. Mm-hmm. So let's explore that a little bit more. How do you think the pressures of school impact students' dating lives, or just lives in general?
I don't really think the pressures of school affects the kids' lives. It's usually their outside lives. What do they go home to? That affects them the most, because usually what they go home to is what they bring to school. Got it. So usually what they go home to, they bring to school. So if it's like, yelling, fussing, and cussing, they bring that to the school, and maybe something happens. Like I have some students who don't like a specific teacher, and as soon as that teacher does something they don't like, they're yelling and they're fussing and they're cussing. And so they can't even learn because they're so caught in this mode. So then it's them sitting in the principal's office. So honestly, I don't even think school really affects the child more than whatever's going on in their community and at their home. I was just speaking to one of my, she's called our interventionalist at the school. And we were just talking about like our school is very special because a lot of our kids come with trauma. So it's like, one, we have to build the trust and get there with them first before we can even give them the expectations to learn. Like now, like some of the kids who are ditchers, like they're known ditchers, they don't care. They're really bold. Like, we would go hide in the bathroom. These kids I
actually didn't ditch till my 12th grade year.
I started ditching. I think I ditched for the first time in like 10th grade. Got caught. But but a lot of our kids have a lot of trauma that they deal with outside of the schoolhouse. And so they bring that to school. And then us as adults, we take on what they call vicarious trauma. So that's trauma that basically their trauma becomes our trauma. So that's really what it is. I mean, there is trauma in school that can affect their learning. So that does happen too as well. But honestly, I feel like it's just home life usually affects the students more than anything that really happens at school.
Okay. Can you share a memorable story that highlights the importance of communication?
Um, well, I can say like
I
you
mean,
want it to be
obviously
like
without using
career
names.
based. Oh no, of course. So I wasn't quite yet a school counselor. So in my program, you have to intern for a couple semesters, and so I was interning at actually my old high school, and
Ooh, I know that was ghetto.
it was.
I
I'm
know it was
talking
ghetto because it was
about.
ghetto when you was going there.
I'm talking about there was a little mini riot, and they brought the kids into my office that I was in and slammed their heads on the counter. Yeah, the police did all this.
Oh,
I popped my
wow.
head out so quick, saw what was going on, and closed my door. Yeah, I said I don't want no parts because once again, vicarious trauma is real.
Yeah.
And so, and of course, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's bad, but they didn't have to be so rough with him.
Yeah.
And so, but essentially, we were coming back to in-person school because this was 2021. So, they finally were like, okay, everybody come back to school. You just got to wear masks, keep your distance. And a lot of kids in the pandemic, their deficit that they already had got bigger. So there's a lot of kids who don't have Wi-Fi. They didn't have laptops to do their work. They didn't have Chromebooks, whatever, what have you.
I thought they gave them to them.
They did, but then when they came back to school, they took them back because they were under this weird assumption that now all of a sudden they had computers when they came back from the pandemic.
Oh,
Yeah.
when they came back. Okay.
Yeah, so they had Chromebooks in the classroom, but they just assumed that basically your parents took care of whatever needs to be taken care of now that we're back in school. And so my supervisor, she was raggedy. I didn't like her too much. But she gave me a caseload of students, and these students had attendance issues. They were either tardy, or they were inconsistently coming to school, or they were like ditchers. So they may have been at school, but they would pick and choose what class to go to, and that
I was
affected their
tardy.
grades. I was pretty much on time usually. I was pretty, but also because I really liked my first period class. I was drill team. But back to this student. So I had met with him a few times, and he kind of was like, he was open. He was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, because I looked young, so they thought I was around their age. I have to tell the kids to stop telling me that because I'm delusional. But also, I don't want to look like a high schooler because I'm very much grown. Like, that's kind of weird. But so we just kept building rapport. I think we did like weekly check-ins. I would just make sure, and I'll always wait till I knew he was there. So like usually by like third period, he was at school. And so one day I finally was just like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, why do you keep coming so late? Like, you're missing 2 core classes. Like, what's going on? So he opened up and shared with me like, he's the second parent in his household. Mom works overnight and she doesn't get home to help his brothers who were in elementary school get ready, and he's in the 11th grade. And so he's basically waking them up, getting them ready for school, making them breakfast, and then had to wait on their like daycare person to pick them up because he had to be at school like 7:30, and she wouldn't come get them until 7:30 because his little brothers didn't have to be at school until I think 8 a.m. because they were elementary. And so that was messing him up. And so, I mean, I couldn't do much about that, but because I was safe enough to like take that information and he trusted me, and I just was like, okay, well, let's try and figure something out. He was open with me again. And so like another session we met, and he was like, well, I don't do my homework because all I have is my phone. And I'm like, so you don't have a Chromebook? Like, you didn't? And he was like, no. He was like, and it's really hard on my phone because it's like Blackboard, and like Blackboard is hard to operate on a laptop. So I can imagine the terror it is on a phone. And so as soon as he gave me that information, like I went just seeking out resources on the campus. Like, hey, I got a student who needs a Chromebook. And I'm like, okay, well, on top of needing a Chromebook, he needs Wi-Fi. So this is at the time where like I think T-Mobile was giving out free Wi-Fi, like little pods or whatever.
I remember the hotspot things.
And so I just by opening him using communication with me, but also me making it safe for him to communicate, and then me then taking what I know and having those conversations, and not necessarily putting him out there, but just like, hey, I got a student and these are his needs. What can we do? Yeah. And so come to find out, the library had a surplus of Chromebooks that they weren't using because they were the old ones. So they just kind of had them in like a Chromebook junkyard. They didn't even say anything like, we're giving these away, but they were giving them away. So I was able to check him out a Chromebook and get him going. And then I was able to connect with, I believe she ran like the bookstore, like, so not the actual bookstore, but like the where you like you check out your books for school. She ran that. She's like, oh yeah, I have Wi-Fi's, like little Wi-Fi pods. And so I was able to get that for him. And so like, had I not made it safe for him to like to be openly communicating with me, or just be open in his communication, and me, now that I have this information, now that I'm going and like communicating, hey, I'm looking for resources, he may have not gotten what he needed. Now I ended up leaving after winter break, so I don't know how successful those were, but like my efforts were, but I can only hope it was good. And by now he should have graduated, so I hope you did. I hope maybe my biggest hope is you went after you wanted to. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he wanted to be an engineer. So I really hope that you're out there and you're in college to be an engineer, like for real, for real.
That's amazing.
I know.
Yeah. Now let's reminisce about college life and the experiences of pledging a sorority.
Ooh.
What was the most surprising part of the sorority experience for you?
How much time?
We ain't got that much. I'm just going ahead and let you know. We ain't got that much.
No, I'm saying how much time the sorority takes. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. But thank you for letting me know. We can listen, I get it. Pack it up. I get it. But how much time? Like, I think I went in blindly. Like, well, one, I knew that I wanted to be in a Divine Nine sorority. I knew I was going to have to research which one I wanted to be in, and just literally
the Divine Nine is like the famous ones, right?
No, so the Divine Nine is composed of 9 historically Black Greek letter organizations. So it would be Alpha Phi Alpha, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi.
So the famous ones.
Delta Sigma Theta, Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta, Sigma Gamma Rho, and Iota Phi Theta. So those are the 9 orgs. And so, yes, in Black people, that yes.
And the famous ones.
Like, those are the ones I mess with. Yeah. I don't know what a Tri-Delta is, but I know what Delta Sigma Theta is. So
I know what AKA is.
Right. So, yeah, so to Black people. But surprisingly enough, not all Black people even know about these organizations. Like, I don't know why they don't, but they just don't.
You know what? I think if you're not in the South, or like in states that I don't want to say HBCUs, but in states where
there's a heavy Black population.
Yeah, and sororities and fraternities are like
movers and shakers.
Yeah, I don't really think it translates well. Like, because I didn't know what Divine Nine was, so I think I watched it on TV.
It's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. That wasn't part of my
I got
life.
Exposed to it. They like came to like my schools and did things. So that's why I knew about it, because I'm first gen. Like, so nobody else in my family that I know of, like my immediate family, pledged. And if they did, they didn't finish their process. I do have a cousin though who's in the same sorority as me, but she's like maybe like 2 or 3 times removed. So she's not quite immediate. And so that wouldn't necessarily, based off of her, that wouldn't make me a legacy based off of her, because we're so far removed in the family. But yeah, so it just the time, like I said, I think I went in kind of like, oh yeah, like I'm going to be super cool, and it's going to be great. And like, we're going to serve the community, but there's also going to be functions, and not realizing how much planning goes into serving my community. I think for me, I was always like, I did help with planning, like in the church, like community stuff, but I think I never actually had to like chair it. Like run the thing, like do all the meetings and set all the planning together. And so it came to a shock to me. Like I remember my first year in the organization, like my first full year, I was like almost in shock because I didn't have any days to myself. So it was like I went to work, and then it was sorority stuff. And then it was like whatever other things I'm involved in. And I remember I was like, I just need a moment, like nothing, just nothing. And so I think that's really what it was. Like they told me it was going to be time consuming, but I think I undermined how time consuming it was going to be.
But was it like an experience that changed your life?
Absolutely. I think for me, are you talking about just pledging in general? I thought you were talking about just being in the organization.
Nah, like, yeah.
Well, both. Yeah. Yes, pledging and being in the organization, it definitely changed my life. You get exposed to a lot of women you may not be privy to. Like, I can't say that I have a doctor in my family. I can't say that I couldn't say I had a doctor in my family. I couldn't say I knew a lawyer. I couldn't say I knew all these like super like dope analysts. Like, one person I know, she works for ESPN. Like, and like I can literally be like, yeah, that's like, I can literally hit her up and be like, what's up? Like, it's like, oh my gosh. So like, that's super cool. Like the connections you make, the sisterhood you gain from it. And just the leadership you gain from it as well. Like, right now I'm currently, what they call a second anti-bacillus to my chapter, which is like the vice president essentially. But it requires you to be a leader and to be organized and to just really be mindful of who you or how you present yourself, because essentially what my job is I advise an undergrad chapter at a university. And so if I want them to step right, I got to make sure that I'm right too. So it keeps me accountable to myself and them, most importantly.
You know what?
So you have to do a lot of growing up, honestly. If you do the sorority thing and you like you gotta and you want to be serious about it, like you gotta let it help you grow up. And that's just pretty much it.
I wanted to pledge so bad. I did. I wanted to be.
What do you mean, did?
I wanted to. I mean, my school don't have that.
But you still can when you go to, if you decide to transfer.
Yeah, I don't have to transfer though. I'm good where I'm at. Not like that.
I was gonna say, but if you did decide to transfer to a 4-year, it's still available to you.
Yeah, but my career base, I don't really need to transfer. I'm really just going to school for the podcast. So everything I'm doing is
Live
for the podcast.
Your dreams. It's not as hard as it makes seem.
Monetization. Don't forget.
Gotta work to get the cream.
Don't sing too long. Is what we're trying to get across. Don't sing too long.
That was it.
I want to be able to monetize. So I'll be honest. I didn't know much about, and I probably still don't know much about your like sorority, but I've seen like once I started seeing you post it, I think another one of my best friends posted it, and then
shout out to her. Yeah, love her down.
And I'm like, dang, like I see it becoming like a more popular sorority on my feed now. Because I think I used to only see like AKAs and like deltas, and probably because I do have a cousin who's an AKA, but so I see like AKAs and I see deltas all through up and down my timeline, but now I be seeing y'all, and I identify it because of the colors.
Yeah. We actually, as of recently, so we are actually the smallest organization out of the sororities in the Divine Nine. So that makes sense why we may not have been as popular. But as of recently, we celebrated 100 years, and that kind of saw like an uptick. Like a lot of people just began more interested. I think we got that more visibility across campuses, and just we had a lot of good. We had a good run, like in the media, where a lot of it attracted more attention. Also, they've been really good about reminding members, like, if you're proud to be a member, like, show the people, so then like they can see it too, because that's the thing too, like, you know, for the two organizations that you named, they be proud. Yeah, they're everywhere. I literally work with a Delta. My boss is a Delta, and then somebody else on my team is an AKA, and they gonna remind you every chance they get.
They got the license plates. Shout out! I'm not dissing y'all. I don't even hate it. They got the license plate.
I love y'all, Sister Greek. This is no shade at all.
My cousin got the license plate. And then, you know, she all colored out. So I be knowing when I see the colors, I be like, I know where you belong.
Yeah.
So that's how I be knowing, because it's just the most popular ones.
Yeah. So they are. They're the two largest. So that makes sense. Like, it makes sense. Like, statistically speaking, it makes sense. So it's no harm, no foul for me. Like, I know that we're the smaller side, but I really love that about us, because we're so small. Like, it's just like more exciting. I guess it's more exciting. Like, I think if I was in the bigger organizations, I kind of expect to know that somebody else in this room is in the same org as me. Where it's like, you go somewhere and they're like, oh, I'm this. I'm trying to redact the name just because I don't want you to get your, I don't know if there's going to be any copyright infringement or anything. So, but I can definitely, like, I'm speaking about my experiences. So it doesn't reflect the org as a whole, thank goodness. But they, you know, once you push how proud you are, it puts your visibility out there.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how I be knowing, like, what y'all are, because how else was know? So without the license plates and the Letterman jackets, I don't know what they're actually called.
Line jacket.
Yeah.
Almost called a Letterman jacket, right?
The line jackets.
Line jackets, yeah. Them line jackets is hot. They're not made for people who are Greece and California. They are hot. Like it's literally got to be like wintertime for me to actually want to wear it because they're really like they're fleece lined. Yeah, they cute.
They do.
They be real cute. They be
down.
customized. And as a new member, I decided to wear mine in June one time. I had just got it. It was fresh out the shop. And so I had to feel official. I paid for it. When I tell you my shirt was covered in sweat.
I bet you did. I bet you did. I bet you did.
Yeah, but I was just excited. It was exciting. I'm still excited about it. People act like you still act like you a new member. And I'm happy to be there.
And you know what? I love that for you.
Thank you.
Because if you gonna pledge, then yeah, you better act like a new member.
Every time.
Every time I see you, I better be seeing something.
Something.
You know,
okay?
let me know what you went through.
Let me know you proud
you
made it through what you went through.
You know, because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I'm kind of jealous of you.
Don't be. Girl.
I ain't jealous of a lot of people about a lot of things, but people who graduate from HBCUs, I'm jealous of y'all.
I agree.
And then people who pledged, I'm jealous of y'all.
That's probably one of my biggest regrets, not leaving and going to a HBCU. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, trust me, I love my education, what I got, and I'm so grateful for it. But I think one, it was the experience of being away from my family and having to figure out things on my own would have been nice. And two, just I love Black folks. So being surrounded by Black folks in an education setting would probably been amazing. But I think also too, being from California and being in this big old melting pot, we kind of don't see the value in it. So it's just like, cause like I'm used to it. Like it's all, and we didn't have as much overt racism at first. Now it's live and well. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. For purposes of time, I'm gonna cut the rest of the segment short. We're just gonna hop into the Reddit. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so it says, am I the asshole for ending my relationship after my girlfriend said no to marriage? I, 41 male, have been dating my ex-girlfriend, 39 female, for nearly 6 years. Our relationship was a good one. 4 years ago, I informed her family and friends I was going to propose to her while we were on a family vacation and receive their blessings and well wishes. The night I proposed, I tried to make the night as memorable and perfect as possible. I asked her after a nice dinner surrounded by the family, and she said, no, not yet anyways.
Oh.
I was quite hurt, honestly, and went back to our room to think things out and not overreact. A few hours later, she came to a few hours? You let me marinate for a few hours? Okay. A few hours later, she came to the room and asked me what was wrong and why I left the group. We had a fairly long conversation as to my feelings and her reason to deny my proposal. Turns out she didn't think I was ready for that commitment just yet. So I took her thoughts to heart and informed her I understand her reasoning. However, I was raised in a way where you take no for a no, not a maybe next time. She asked me to just wait a bit longer until we were in a stable place, and I agreed. 8 to 10 months later, she started dropping hints that she was ready to be married. I can't wait for our wedding. Our wedding is going to be spectacular. I am looking forward to my dad walking me down the aisle, etc. A little over a year since my first proposal, I decided to propose again. This time, just us together after a wonderful date night. When I opened the ring box, she got really quiet and once again said, no, not yet. Maybe a little bit more down the line. After the second refusal, I fell out of love with her. It sounds cold, but it was the truth. When we got back home, I slept in our guest bedroom and spent the rest of the night thinking of our relationship. The next morning, she asked why I didn't sleep with her in our bedroom, and I told her the truth and informed her that I think we need to end the relationship. I informed her that I take marriage very seriously and I do not want to be led on, and this time, this no was the final no on the subject. I gave her a month to find a new place to live. And since then, I have been receiving texts and emails from her family and friends informing me I am a heartless bastard and trying to get me to give her more time and not be a callous asshole. My friends have my back on this and understand why I ended the relationship. Am I the asshole? Edit. I have the time mixed up in reverse. I proposed after 4 years the first time. I apologize for the confusion. Now I seen your head doing that shift back and forth because baby, what?
Hello. Hold on. Because even with the edit, y'all dated for 4 years. And she said no the first time. And then 6 years. And she said no. She don't want you. And he rightfully got up and left. Like,
First off, she let you marinate for hours.
hours. So on the first time she told you
Yeah,
no.
for hours. That should have been a sign.
Right there.
And then the second time you proposed, she let you sleep in the guest room. And they had the audacity to
then
ask
go check
you.
on you.
And they had the audacity to ask you, like, well, why didn't you sleep in the bed
Like
with
you
me?
didn't just tell this man no.
Girl, you
To
know why
marry
I'm sleeping in
him
bed with you.
for the second time. And then calling him callous is crazy because it's like this man loved you enough to wait for you 2 times to propose. And over a 6-year span, you didn't want that man stink.
Yeah, you tell me no, baby. It's
You
a
didn't.
wrap.
You didn't want that man. You just wanted. And I think maybe the issue was he let her live at his house and called it our house. He said our guest room. So she probably was like, I cannot marry this man, but get the marriage life, not realizing he was gonna be like, I got Alzheimer.
Yeah.
And also, you're 39, stink. Like you really don't want to be married, and that's okay.
And
but
that
you got to
is.
have that honest conversation with yourself and him,
Yeah.
because that's not fair.
It's not.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Because why are you saying you can't wait for our wedding? If when I ask you, now all of a sudden it's
You can wait all of a sudden.
yeah.
What?
I can't wait for my daddy to walk me down the aisle.
Maybe she can't wait for her daddy to walk her down the aisle, but just not to him. Like I said, she don't want that man.
That's a possibility.
So maybe she does want to get married. Just
And he
not
could
to
walk
him.
you down the aisle at PetSmart for all I care. You not finna be at my house no more.
And
like,
ain't.
yeah, you got to go.
Got to go.
That's crazy. Proposing twice
Twice. And got turned down both times.
after we done already had the conversation that this is what you want. That's crazy.
Yeah, so like I said, it sounded like she wanted marriage, just not to that man.
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
Or she just made it seem like that's what she wanted, which is crazy. Don't do that.
Yeah, it couldn't have been me because what?
But after the first no, I probably would have been good. Honestly.
Yeah. After the first no, you wouldn't have been able to convince me to propose again.
Yeah.
At that point, you would have proposed me.
No, it has an expiration date. And that was it.
Yeah, it would have. You would have been your bending knee at that point. Because if I,
All right, well, you propose to me when you ready. Like what?
yeah, you let me know when you ready. You just throw the ring on the table for all I care.
Right. Oh my gosh, no, I don't think he's the asshole, to be honest.
Yeah.
I actually, you know what? You making me have to agree with men is pissing me off. Cause why you gonna let the man be the more sound one in the situation?
It don't make no sense.
Made me mad.
How you just let him be right?
See, that's why I don't support all women.
I don't either.
I don't. She's one of the ones I don't support.
Yeah, I don't care what y'all say. Y'all can cancel me, but you can't. I don't care about.
I'm a girl's girl, but I don't support all women. If that makes sense.
It does,
Okay.
because not all women is right. Not all women is right. And some of y'all.
There's times when I'm wrong.
Yeah,
And as a girl's girl, I want y'all to tell me when I'm wrong.
it's a rarity.
I mean, I'm rarely wrong. Let's get that right. But when I am wrong, let me know.
Yeah, it's a rarity. So before I let you go, I did forget to ask you in the beginning, so we're gonna ask you now. How's your mental health? We gotta do a mental health check-in before we let you go. How's your week been?
It's been long. A lot of reports and data given to me at the last minute to do things with. So it made my week long. A lot of deadlines that are all meeting at the same time while also prioritizing my students has made this week long. But I will say, in the fact that this week has been long, it has not affected my mental health. Actually, I feel a lot more accomplished and better, which is interesting. So that might be some growth in there, a shift in my mindset. But me as a person, I'm doing great. I went to go see Usher on Saturday, last Saturday. Listen, it's just been a good week all around, even with all the extra stuff I've had to do at work. And just also, I think also what's been rewarding about this week is all my hard work is being acknowledged, like in real time, instead of it having to be presented. And then like a few months, I'm like, oh, they thought you were doing so well. I'm getting, feedback in real time. So that makes all the hard work worth it. And then also, I credit my boss for this. We were annoyed with her when she said it, But she was like, yeah, I know you may be tired in this work. She's like, but every time you go home, you go and you get into bed and you go to sleep. And she said, when you wake up in the morning, you may still be tired, but you wake up and you thank God that you get another opportunity to serve these kids.
Oof. That's a
And
word.
I was annoyed with her when she said it.
Because it is annoying in the moment.
Right, because she said it during a time where it was like she was unloading the clip on us about all these things for work we needed to get done. But I took her mentality, and I think that's also what truly helped me. Is like, I am thankful that I do get to help these kids. I am thankful that I get to make a difference. I am thankful that I love what I do. So it's a blessing, for real.
They say when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Facts. And it's true. It's true. I go into that school, them 7 hours fly by every day. There's a few days I'm like, oh, it's long. But pretty much every day, they flying by. I get to connect with kids. I get to connect with parents. I get to connect with a bunch of people, even just community representatives. And it's great. I really enjoy it, for real.
That's good. Now, for you listeners and you viewers, I hope you guys are having an amazing week. I know we normally start with that, but I did forget in the beginning. I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. But for those of you who are waiting for that, here it is. If you did not have an amazing week, there's nothing I can do for you in this moment. I can and will continue to speak it over you because like her boss said, it works when you speak it over people. Mm-hmm. Okay? Speaking of gratitude. So I do hope that if your week has not been good, that it does turn around for you and that you do have an amazing week. And that is all we have for you today. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. We hope to see you in next week's episode. Because why would you not show up?
Where else would you be? Where else would you be?
What else are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's why your week's not going good. Because you felt like you didn't need to show up. Yeah. So when you show up, you'll have an amazing week. And I'll see you next week. Bye.